PC gaming on a 4K HDR television. That was an idea I had. I was a little worried this week when in my own subscription box a Hardware Canucks video came up about gaming on a 4K television. I was worried. I was worried they were going to do better than what I did. I'm not worried. Not at all. So here's the information you need to know, and it's important. First off, one of the big things that I've done is I've retested some of the things. I actually hooked up my main PC, this one that's behind me, to the 4K TV HDR to see to get past some limitations and do additional testing. So here's the interesting thing about that television. It is rated at 60 Hertz. The problem is the video card I have in my LAN PC will only support HDMI 1, which only goes up to 30 Hertz. And as a result, that limits the frame rates on all the games I play there. Now, the other thing I did was, when it came to gaming on the TV, on the couch, I use this stand here that my microphone is sitting on to set my keyboard and mouse. I played Overwatch. I did a couple other games, and the problem is that it wasn't that comfortable sitting on a couch with a keyboard and mouse versus sitting in this chair with keyboard and mouse is a lot more comfortable. In fact, I actually prefer gaming on my main system versus the TV setup, because it's just really, there's no it's not a fair comparison in a lot of ways. Here's the thing, 4K HDR. Now the 480 does support HDR, but here's something to keep in mind with HDR technology and gaming. It's not implemented in every game yet. There's also the cost as well for the developers. And I do know of a few developers, and they're having those discussions internally. Should we implement HDR or not? They're generally leaning towards no right now, because it's kind of the same boat as 3D. Remember when they were pushing 3D on monitors? How many games support that? Exactly. Not that many. It'll be the same with HDR, in my opinion. And HDR doesn't magically make the game look better. As someone that does reshade, it just doesn't. So, my article goes into greater detail about the things that I ran across, limitations, overall opinion of it. So, the basic point is that, well, it seemed like a good idea, the overall experience wasn't that enjoyable for me. Now, that doesn't mean I won't still use a setup. I'm still gonna use a setup. I'm actually using it when I don't game on this system, but I'm gaming on games that aren't that demanding on that system, such as Pillars of Eternity and Shadowrun series. So we're talking a low demanding games, but they're still really great and fun games to play. The thing that surprised me the most is that I could play Overwatch at 4K with relatively no issues at all. It was very surprising to see that on the 380. I wasn't expecting that, and this was at high settings. But again, the limitations of HDMI 1 versus HDMI 2 are very apparent to me. Now, the other thing you need to know when it comes to HDMI technology is that the HDMI cable for HDMI 1 and HDMI 2 is, in fact, the same. So that's something to keep in mind. If you decide you want to go ahead and do this, or you're considering getting a TV instead of a monitor, I would advise against it completely. It's not worth it, in my opinion. You can get gaming at 1080 and at 1440 is perfectly fine right now. The fact of the matter is, to game at 4K, you have to spend a lot to do that. Now, granted, I didn't really game at 4K with my 380, except for giggles with Rise of the Tomb Raider, which, oh my goodness, it looks beautiful, but frame rates of around 18 frames per second? Yeah, no, that's not playable at all. Or it might have been lower. My results are on in my article. The other fact of the matter is that it's just... The thing is, there is no all-be-all when it comes to a 4K gaming card yet. That doesn't exist yet. There are cards that are kind of there, but what I mean by that is the magic number for the average consumer when it comes to mass adoption. Here's what that number needs to be. $300. That's right. When a graphic card there's $300 can do 4K gaming at 60 frames per second, we will see mass-wide adoption. Otherwise, until then, it will be a niche market. The average and mass majority of PC gamers still game at 1080, and a couple more, well, not much more, also game at 1440. Not a lot of them actually game at 4K. And part of the reason is the content isn't there yet. And the other fact of the matter is that you have to have a certain size monitor to appreciate the 4K gaming. Otherwise, it's just not worth the price, in my opinion, right now. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that subject matter. And that's it for this video. My next video, this is an announcement to go along with this video, will actually be a video series. I've decided to do an advanced reshade tutorial series, which I'm calling Enhanced with Reshade, where I will take a video game from beginning all the way to end, showing how I make it better with Reshade, the latest version of it. Now, of course, since this is an advanced version, I'm not going to show you how to download and install Reshade. I am just going to show you my process, step by step, of creating a Reshade for myself for when I play this game next. And the game I'm going to do it for is actually a game I just finished, which is Prey 2017. I'm very excited to make the Reshade for it. It's gonna be a while before I play it again. But the next time I play it, it will visually look better, and you will see the game go from where it is now, which is, it already looks really, really good. But I'm gonna see if I can make it look even better. And the thing is, I know I can. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And as I said, it's a video series, meaning more than one part. Basically, stage 1, what I refer to as stage 1, stage 2, and then the final stage combining stage 1 and stage 2. Which I will explain in that video when it comes up. So, that's it for this video.